The Placozoa is a mesozoan with found flexing in some Australian aquatics. They're round and transparent, their flat have two sides. The simplest creatures don't even need guides. We're breaking it down for you, so listen up. By 111, you made the cut. The two species discovered in 1800s, Trichoplaxoterians, Trichoplax raptans. The first one was found 1883, but Trichoplax raptans we still haven't seen. 4 distinct cells, none of them minor, cylinder, gland, cover, and fiber. They're found in the warmer subtropical waters. In the littoral zone, they cannot be bothered. They use the cilia on basal epithelia. Movement by gliding is shown on this media.
Ventral surface to feed with enzymes for digesting. They feed on small algae and reproduce asexually. Binary fission and budding can happen too. Sexual reproduction also true. When there's high density, they can degenerate. Egg cells can form within their interspace before the phase is through. The sperm cells can form too. Develop in 64 stages. DNA so simple, no ranges. They're neither deuterostomes nor protostomes. They feed by phagocytosis and can't migrate without ptosis. They ain't got tissues or organs, respire by doing diffusion, a hydrostatic support system. Like a lot of organisms, they can live inside of humans because they're really parasitic. Their lifespan is unknown, and that's all that we know. So now we're gonna see the phylogenetic trees.
So let's see how Placozoa relates to other phyla. We compared Placozoa to 8 different phyla using RNA analysis as well as morphological analysis. In the phylogenetic tree comparing morphology of the different phyla, Placozoa shares the most common ancestry with the phyla Cnidaria, Echinodermata, Mollusca, Arthropoda, Annelida, and Chordata. The Placozoa did not share the most recent common ancestor with the outgroup, which for this tree was Porifera. In the second tree, we compare the similarities in the RNA between the different phyla. In this phylogenetic tree, Placozoa's sister taxa are Echinodermata and Chordata. The Porifera is also the outgroup for this phylogenetic tree. Overall, the tree comparing the RNA tracks more recent common ancestors than the tree with the morphology. The Placozoa compared with the morphological tree also had more sister taxa than the Placozoa compared with the genetic tree.
Now we will compare the different animal groups to each other. Looking at the morphology tree, we see that Placozoa is closely related to the outgroup Porifera, which are also known as sponges. However, in the 16S rRNA phylogenetic tree, they did not share any trace with outgroup Porifera. The difference between these trees may be due to the genetic sequencing. DNA sequencing helps shed light on animal groups that are believed to be close, which may or may not be corroborated. Different traits between the two trees include: for the data matrix tree, we have the development of gills as a tool of respiration from Echinodermata down. For the 16S rRNA tree, we have gills developed for Annelida down and lost for Placozoa. There are no fossil records for the Placozoa phyla, so the earliest we can locate these species is in the 1880s. As mentioned, Placozoa is truly a simple phyla. They have no symmetry, one tissue layer, no cephalization, no body cavity, extracellular digestion, no circulatory system, diffusion as respiration, locomotion through cilia, hydrostatic support system, no segmentation, no appendages, no nervous system, no eyes, water and land is its habitat, and reproduce asexually. In Ryan and Chioda 2015, they believe Placozoa and Porifera to be sister taxa, although Placozoa are known to be more complex. Several possible scenarios were introduced. However, the final conclusion was based on the third scenario. This belief was based on the foundation that both Porifera and Placozoa had an endoparasitic lifestyle, and at some point led to the loss or modification beyond recognition of neural cell types. The uncertainty of these phylogenetic trees is different because each researcher makes different assumptions, which does not lead to the same conclusion every time. For example, Placozoa and Porifera are close enough where some inferences can be made, such as for respiration. Porifera is known to use diffuse respiration, and it is also assumed Placozoa adopts the same method. As seen in the literature tree, diffusion was developed for respiration from Porifera down, and the gain of gills was developed at bilateria, which is also known as chordata. Lastly, a fun fact about Placozoa. Placozoans are parasitic, which means they mostly live off the product of bigger animals, which creates a unique relationship when looking at humans, such that they can occupy a human and live within the blood or tissue of humans and cause infection and disease.